Good morning, seniors. I am Ms. Rodemeyer. My classroom is 319, and I am your senior class co-advisor, one of two. We're super excited to welcome you back to the school year and thrilled that we're all here together. It was great and so much fun to see so many tie-dyes. I want to talk to you about a couple really important things, though, for senior year and for really kind of keeping focused on the things that we need to get done and all the activities and all the things. So I want you to know really importantly that all of the things that you are hoping to do as a senior, we too want you to do, including us, administration, and we're working really hard to plan those things for you, including all of the homecoming activities and events. So we could be really happy to know that. What we're asking you for, though, is to just trust us that you maybe have to wait for information and that things come out sometimes in a drip and that you feel like it might be last minute, but that has nothing to do with our desire to get those events done for you. We just really want you to understand that all the work is happening behind the scenes, and we will let you have all the information when we know it and we can be certain of it, because it's really hard to say things and then have to go back and forth and unsay them, if you will. So I guess we're just really asking for your patience and to really kind of be paying attention so that you're getting the information when it comes out. With that, I am going to hand it over to Mrs. Connors.
Hello, seniors. I am Mrs. Connors. I am now currently located in room 324. So for those of you that have had me for a lot of years and I've been in 325, I'm now across the hall. I'm working with Ms. Rodemeyer. I'd just like to reiterate what she said. Please be flexible, work with us, be patient. Make sure that you're checking all of the social media stuff, doing all that good stuff to stay on top of things. Again, if you need anything from us, please feel free to stop into our rooms and see us.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Francesca D'Amato. I'm your senior class public relations officer. I want to strongly encourage all of you to follow the Instagram page. It is OPHS Class of 22. It's a great way to stay connected with all of us. It's a great way to see what the upcoming events are like. Also, I want to encourage you all to check your emails regularly. It's really important to join the Google Classroom. It's your Classroom 2021, 2022, and just stay connected. Think about being a homeroom rep and see what's coming up.
Hi, I'm Charlie, your class liaison. Can't wait to give our last year a good shot.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm your class secretary. I hope we all just have a really good year.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Whitting and I'm your class treasurer, and I'm looking forward to another great year in this pandemic.
Hi everyone, I'm Sid Curtin. I'm your senior class vice president, and I can't wait to see us have a great year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zach Lippett. I'm your senior class president, and this year's going to be great, packed with events, so just hope everyone gets involved and has fun. And now your StatCom president, Kelly Barnes.
Good morning, everyone. So originally I thought you would all be here in the auditorium. I was going to give a little pump-up speech for senior year, but now I'm in your homerooms. So I just thought I would introduce myself. So my name is Kelly Barnes, and I'm the StatCom president. So welcome to senior year. It's kind of crazy. We all came in wearing our tie-dyes. Kind of makes it real. I guess we really are seniors, our fourth year. And even though it's the year of last, our last homecoming, our last first day, our last football games, our last school sports seasons, it can also be a year of firsts. You could become a homeroom rep, get involved. You could join a club for the first time. You could participate in gym for the first time. So I know I'm going to be talking to the freshmen later today, and I'm going to be telling them how it's so much fun to join a club, be with your friends, make connections with teachers. But if you guys don't have that motivation, just think about college applications. Put something on it, join a club. So what I'm saying is get involved in the school because obviously it makes it a lot more fun to be here every day. We have our first STAPCOM meeting on September 20th, and that's a great way to see what STAPCOM is doing for the school, and maybe you can see what we're not doing. So if you want to see a change, be that change. Use your voice here at Orchard Park. You have one. So make sure you're using it and creating positive change with that. I'm in room 163. You can come to me with anything, any questions, any events you want to see happen. I really want to make this year as best as possible because we haven't had the most fun events in the past just because of COVID. Also, please follow STAPCOM on Instagram at OPHS STAPCOM. So thank you. Have a great rest of your first day. And with that, I will leave you with Mr. Wolf, our principal.
Good morning, class of 2022. You guys have had an interesting ride through the high school, and this is your final year. And so I think for me, the theme this year is let's be typical. I don't think anything's normal. I don't know what normal is anymore. But we're going to try and be as typical as possible this year. And so you're going to hear about a lot of things that are coming back, clubs, activities, sports, homecoming activities, all those things. We're going to do them as best we can under the guidelines that we have currently. And so what that takes is everybody's cooperation. So let me go over a few of the changes this year in terms of COVID protocols. Hopefully everybody filled out the health screening. You have to do that daily. And again, as high school students, that's something you guys can access and take care of. But if you don't do that before homeroom or first period rather, we're gonna have to call people out and check with them. So please make sure you take that step before you come to school every day. Fill out your health screening. It's 4 quick questions and an attestation that you don't have a fever. So that's very, very important to having your day be a normal day without being interrupted. Okay. Next thing is masks. It's obviously a hot topic. Right now we're under the state guidelines and we have to have masks on whenever we're in the building, except for eating lunch. When you're outside, you don't need to wear the mask. They recommend it, but it's not a requirement. You will get like mask breaks and things like that. We're going to handle this like we did last year. It wasn't a big issue last year in terms of getting people breaks when they needed them. I do want to emphasize with everyone, especially when you're changing classes, you need to have the mask on properly. I mean, we see a lot of people, what we are calling chin strapping, where the mask is down under their chin or it's below your nose. You need to wear your mask properly because it's going to help keep us in school. And that's the goal for this year, is to stay in school all 5 days, everybody. So please do your part doing that. Again, with the COVID regulations, we do not have to clean desks in between classes anymore, but there is hand sanitizer everywhere. And it's important to keep the building clean, so do your part and not leave garbage around, pick things up if you see it. It's just general cleanliness, and it helps keep everybody safe and healthy and keeps us in school. So that's imperative this year. A couple other things that I need to talk about. One is the Dignity for All Students Act, and that really is an anti-bullying act that is, you've heard about this now all through high school. You need to take care of yourself and your business and not be getting other people's faces. And again, the biggest place that happens for high school students is social media. So please refrain from doing anything on social media that would get you into trouble in school. Don't do anything on social media that you wouldn't want someone to say to you or do to you. It's just common sense and it's courtesy, so treat each other with respect. You guys do a really good job of that. I just need to remind you every year that that is out there. If you feel like you're somebody that is having difficulty, you can see me, you can see a school counselor, an administrator, anybody to report that there's something going on. But remember, anything that happens on social media can have a school impact. So I'll leave it at that for you guys. I think that's everything I have for you guys. The one thing I would like to say to you guys is you are the leaders of this school now. And so the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors look up to you to see how you're rolling, how you're conducting yourselves. I'm very, very confident that you guys will handle that responsibility and be great leaders for the school. We want to make this, like I said, the most typical year we can. And I want the year for the graduating class of 2022 to be outstanding so that you guys will do your part. We're all going to do our part, and it's a team effort. And so I'm very excited for this year, and welcome to your senior year. And with that, I'm going to introduce Mrs. Linder from the guidance staff. Have a great year, everyone.
Good morning. I'm Mrs. Linder. I'm a counselor in House 3, and it was a pleasure to see you all come back full-time this morning and see you in the halls. I'm looking forward to an exciting year, as with the school counseling department. Just a few notes. In homeroom this morning, you should have got your most up-to-date schedule. If you do notice that there is an error with your schedule, please go see your counselor. I do hope you understand, though, that we cannot do preference requests. So if you're trying to work your schedule out so you can have like 8th period open, we can't take care of that. But obviously, if you do have an error in your schedule, so you're in the wrong class, please make sure that you come down and see your counselor when we're available. Also, if you just recently signed up or will be just recently signing up for Open Campus, if your schedule still says study hall on there, please make sure you follow that schedule. If you did just sign up for Open Campus, make sure you see your counselor so that we can adjust your schedule so that you don't get in any kind of trouble if you leave school, that your schedule is got the Open Campus in there, okay? Otherwise, I know many of you are starting to think about the college process or post-high school plans. Please rest assured that on Friday, we are going to be doing a video assembly, the school counseling department. So we are going to have a lot of information about what to expect in the upcoming school year, how we're going to be able to help you. We're also going to talk about senior check-in appointments, and your house office will be scheduling those for you. So again, we're going to go through that whole process, talk about brag sheets, recommendations, college visits, the whole application process on Friday during the video assembly. Otherwise, again, I'm really glad to see all of you. Please let us know if you need anything. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Mr. Hafner, who's going to talk about attendance and attire. Take care. Welcome back.
Good morning. My name is Mr. Hafner, and you guys are actually the only class that might actually know who I am. I was here a few years ago as a chemistry teacher up on the 3rd floor between Miss Saul and Miss Chopra. But now I return to you guys as a House 1 principal. So today I'm just here to talk to you about a couple of things. I'm here to talk to you about attendance and about our dress code. So these are things that you've, I'm sure, heard over the last 4 years, and you know what the rules are, but we just have to cover these just to make sure that we're checking our boxes. So with regard to attendance, if you are absent, you need to make sure that when you come back to school that you have a note that explains what your absence was for. That should be within 3 days of when that absence is. Make sure that you stay home for any type of COVID-related issues. So if you have any COVID symptoms, just make sure that you stay home and get that note into us. We've got to make sure that we're in school. Obviously, if we're not in class, we're not going to be productive in our classes. So make sure that you attend school, you're here. Attendance does matter. And in fact, if you miss too many classes in your classes, you're going to end up with the potential of not gaining credit. In a semester course, it is 12 absences. In a full year course, it's 20 absences. Those things can go to our attendance committee, where there's a process by which they go through and refer you to your parents. Your family gets involved, and we just need to make sure that you are here in school. If you get to the point where you have too many absences, that can lead to credit denial. So we just want to make sure that you don't get to that point. I got to check my notes because this is the first one I'm doing. Also, we have perfect attendance, so we want to make sure that if you are still at the point where you have your perfect attendance for your 4 years or even just for this year, obviously that is something that you can get acknowledged for at the senior banquet. So if that's something that you're going for, perfect attendance is definitely out there for all of you. If you're going to be released early for any period, just make sure that you have a note that says that you are getting released. Nobody can be released from our building without a parent note. All right, on to our dress code. So basically our dress code, we just want everybody to make sure that you're dressed kind of in a professional manner and modest. With regard to shorts and skirts, we want to make sure that they are at a reasonable length. We don't actually have a length. We're not saying to fingertips because we just know that that's not necessarily reasonable for some people, but we want to make sure that we're just at a point where it's a reasonable length. We also don't want to see any undergarments, so straps or underwear hanging out. Everything has to be covered. Any undergarment has to be covered. We have a hat rule. There's no hat, so follow the hat rule. Make sure that we're not wearing a hat in our building. We're going to ask you to remove that. We need to make sure that everything that we wear, as far as our shirts displayed, doesn't have anything that's vulgar, has nothing that is offensive. So just make sure that what's on your shirt is reasonable. Shouldn't have anything that depicts guns or alcohol or any reference to drugs. Those types of things are going to be things that we are going to refrain from. Teachers are going to call you out. If you get called out, you're going to be sent down. We're going to ask you to change. Have your parents come in, bring something in if you don't have anything that is available to you. So just make sure that what you're wearing is reasonable. We're going for office casual. So just please make sure, like Mr. Wolf said, you guys are the leaders of our building. You're the seniors now, and you're the example for the rest of the building. So we want to make sure that you provide an example for all of our students that shows how we at Orchard Park want to display ourselves. So that's it. So welcome to your senior year, first day. Have a great first day and a great year. Thank you. And now Mr. Lynch.
Good morning, seniors. I just have a few things to talk about, most of which are all kind of reminders. You've been here for now going on to your fourth year. We're going to talk about discipline, eligibility, and then some safety drills. First, obviously, there's discipline. One of the big things for seniors is open campus. If you get sent down to the office with a referral, just remember that you're going to lose open campus for 10 weeks. I think that's the biggest reminder for seniors. Last year we didn't have a whole lot of problems with our end of the year with you guys, but just realize that it's one of those things that's in black and white. We can't change that. So if you get in trouble as a senior, you get a referral, it will be 10 weeks of lost open campus should you have it. And then just, if a teacher asks you to do something, I would just do it. A lot of times a teacher will say, do something, you don't do it, and they say, all right, you're gonna have to stay after school for me. Stay after school for the hour. You don't go through the discipline process. Nothing follows you. So it's just use common sense. If you do end up with a warning or a referral, warnings usually come with a 1-hour detention after school. And if that behavior continues throughout different classes or the same class, those warnings that you're getting could end up being referrals as well. Remember, there's 5 levels for a referral. First level being like a 3-hour detention. We got to call home, let everybody know what's going on. Second, at least 2 detentions. Third could be 3 detentions and a phone call, and it gets progressively more severe to suspensions and hearings with the superintendent. Remember, and I hope none of you get caught with a vape or anything like that, but vaping is an automatic 3-hour detentions after school. We have been talking about potentially doing a Saturday detention, which I know is something that nobody would want to do, but that's an idea we have. It hasn't been put into play yet. The other thing, too, is the masks and cell phones. They go down as a warning the first time. Cell phone gets to be picked up by your parent. There is no brother, sister, aunt, and uncle picking it up. So just remember that if it gets taken, it goes to a parent, and the first one's a warning, the second one's a referral. Same with the mask. The mask will be the same thing. If you have your mask down, a teacher or a staff member asks you to pull it up, please just pull it up. We're here to keep everybody safe. We have to follow the guidelines that the state has given, so you guys do as well. But again, the mask, if you get sent down to the office, the first one will be a warning, it'll be documented, and the second one will be a referral. And again, the parents and everybody will be notified. Kind of goes into like eligibility. If you're not doing well and you're in a club or an activity or a sport or the music department, if a teacher tells you you got to get it together, they're going to give you a week or two to get your grades up and do what you got to do. But if you continue not to do well in the class, they can actually tell your coach or your advisor, and you will have to sit out of your activity until you get your grades up. So please work with your teachers. Your teachers are willing to work with you. Stay after school, show you're trying to work hard, and that shouldn't be a problem. The last thing I have, and this is again just a reminder, is the safety drills. We'll have 6 fire drills in the fall and 2 in the spring. Some of especially the tech rooms, some of the routes have changed a little bit, so make sure you're aware of where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be with your teacher. Make sure you're with them to take attendance when you get outside, and then follow suit back inside. We have 1 lockdown each quarter for a total of 4. The first one will be the next week or so in the cafeteria, and they'll tell you what to do in case of a lockdown if you're in the cafeteria or the commons. And then the only other thing you really need to be aware of is a shelter in place. Usually we go into a shelter in place after a lockdown, but we could call a shelter in place at any time, which means you stay put in your classroom with the door locked, but you can go about your normal class activities during that time. You just can't be out in the hallway for whatever reason. Usually if somebody slips and falls or there's a spill, something like that, that would be a reason we'd call a shelter in place, just to keep the traffic down until we have it taken care of. That's all I have for today. Again, have a good first day of your senior year, and I'll introduce Dr. Fisher, the House 3 principal.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Good morning, seniors. A couple more reminders for you. I know that this is your 4th go-around, so you've heard this a million times, but we just want to make sure we're very diligent with these things. The first one is medications. Please, please, please make sure that any medications you need to take here at school are on file and located only with the nurse. That includes a vitamin or even something as simple as an aspirin. Please make sure that you do not have any of that on your person or in your locker at any time before, during, or after school when you're on premises. Anything like that needs to be on file with the nurse along with directions and only located there. Additionally, only mom, dad, parent, or guardian can bring that material into the school to the nurse. So you cannot walk in a medication with a note and deliver it to the nurse yourself. That has to be handled by home, please. The next is the AUP, or the acceptable use policy, and just district technology use and district network use. Please make sure, everybody's used to having a school-issued Chromebook by now. Over the years, we've had a lot of changes with what is and is not an acceptable use and the number of teachers using those, so now it's pretty ubiquitous in the school. But please make sure that you're only using district technology, including the network, for school-appropriate activities. Should only be used for homework and class activities and so forth. You should not be streaming movies on there or anything along those lines. You make sure to read the AUP in your student handbook, and make sure you're abiding by those rules. Cell phones and earbuds. Nothing has really changed in terms of the school building's policy in terms of acceptable use for a cell phone during the day. If a teacher tells you, hey, pull your phone out and do this in a classroom, that's one thing, but you should not be using your cell phone in the bathrooms or hallways or classrooms or anything along those lines. And the same thing would go for wired or wireless earbuds. You should not have those in during the day unless your teacher the classroom teacher is telling you to do so. So what happens if you happen to have your cell phone out in the hallway or the bathroom or something like that, and a teacher happens upon you and asks you for it? Typically, the first cell phone infraction is merely a warning. And what that means is the adult would take your phone to your house office along with your student ID, and then you'd have a conversation with the house principal, and then mom, dad, parent, guardian has to come to school and pick the phone up. Anything after that first infraction could be a referral. Now again, if an adult approaches you because you have your cell phone out, that is not the moment in time to get into a civil rights argument with them about your cell phone. Comply with the request, give the cell phone to the adult, and then work through the process. We understand that things happen at home, parents are texting you, there's different things going on, but please make sure to comply with the request of the adult at the time, and then we'll address it moving forward. It's not the time to say, I'm not giving you my cell phone, or become indignant, things like that. So really nothing has changed in terms of that policy or practice. We're going to be very diligent about that. Same thing with earbuds. Again, they should not be in during the day unless a teacher asks you to put them into class for some reason. So please just make sure you are familiar with the AUP, the district use of technology in the network, the cell phone policy and earbuds and medications. And I'll turn it over to Mrs. Corrales.
Good morning. Welcome back. Your senior year, how exciting. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to go over a couple of things that pertain to seniors. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the humanitarian program we run at the high school. I know you're probably familiar with this, but I just want to tell those of you who are going to maybe start now or continue on that journey to helping out the community in volunteer work. First of all, you can find the forms on the Counseling Center website on our high school through Humanitarian Awards. So you click on that and it gives you all the rules for what's acceptable, or if you want to work at a place that is not acceptable and get that approved. There is a form you have to follow and fill out and give it to me in room 257, and then I will investigate, call, and make sure it's a safe environment and get back to you, and then you can do your community service there. The other form is when you are completing the hours, you get it signed by both you, the supervisor, your parent, and then turn it in within a week's time. Please follow the procedures for this because we are tracking it, and we will then recognize those students who have gone above and beyond their senior year. So if you do 200 hours of community service in your 4 years, you are eligible for the gold status. 100 is silver, and bronze is 50. If you have any questions at all about this, it is on our website, and you can come see me if you're confused about any part of how the procedure works. The one thing I'd like to say is, though, there are rules and regulations to follow, so please follow them. I don't want you to work somewhere and then not get the signatures and say, I didn't know. So make sure you go on that website and make sure you're understanding all of the procedures to follow. The other thing I would like to talk about briefly is NHS. First, to those students who are already in NHS, those seniors, you are required to do community service and your peer tutoring. There will be a mandatory meeting in the library this Monday after school for all NHS members. Please plan on attending. If something comes up, please come see me in room 257. I am taking your summer hours. You have till next week, Wednesday, to get those in for the summer hours. If you did any, the forms need to be turned into room 257, please. There is a box, or you can deliver them to me. So there will be another application process for NHS for seniors that would like to try again. So please wait for the invitation. It will come in the late fall, and you will follow the procedures. You will get added to the Google Classroom and follow the application procedure from there. So thank you very much for your time. I'm now going to turn it over to Mrs. Stady. I hope you have a great year, and thanks again.
Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm Mrs. Stady. I'm one of the student activities advisors. And I just want to remind everybody that clubs are now coming back this year. So make sure you get out, you get involved. If you don't remember what clubs we have to offer, they're all posted online under the Student Activities Handbook, or you can come see me in room 162 to discuss any of the clubs. Also, for Powder Puff and Pep Rally, so homecoming events, Pep Rally, Powder Puff, Parade, and Carnival will all occur this year on Friday, September 24th and Saturday, September 25th. The Pep Rally and Powder Puff game will be held at the stadium, and a ticket must be purchased. The other events are free. Please listen to the morning announcements and check your school email to learn more in the coming weeks. Girls Powder Puff registration is online using the parent portal only. It will be open from September 8th till September 13th. Follow the directions, and practice will begin on September 14th, which is on Tuesday. Anyone interested in helping plan and announce the pep rally must see Mr. Botticelli in room 263 by this Friday, September 10th. Any other questions, please see Mr. Botticelli, Mr. Graffio, or Mr. Norv. And now here's Mr. Biondo.
Thank you, Ms. Stady. This is normally the time where I'd be talking to you live here in the auditorium, and I'd be saying, give yourselves a hand. Congratulations, you made it to your final year. So, congratulations. I have a couple of things. You can imagine what I need to talk to you about, but I think the first thing that you guys need to do, and I think it's very, very important, like Mrs. Rodemeyer said, you need to be patient with regards to events and things like that, because we're held to a certain standard by New York State Education and everything else, and if whatever activity might be happening, we may find out tomorrow activity 1's happening or activity 2 isn't happening. Be patient. That being said, stay informed. You need to pay attention to things like announcements. Pay attention to those things. This is your senior year. Things like cap and gown, obviously homecoming, cap and gown, all these other things, these other events. Like Mr. Wolf said, he wants this year to be as normal as possible. Well, if we're going to keep it as normal as possible, you have to pay attention to announcements and things like that. Unlike some of the parents who drove their kids to school and dropped off in the Baker lot this morning. So anyways, be better than the parents and pay attention to announcements and everything else. I know you will. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and that is parking. And you guys know that. Right now, we're working to fill out the permits. Some of you guys applied early. Thank you for doing that. Makes our job a lot easier. The most important thing is obviously you're going to apply through the parent portal, and then after the parent portal, you're going to join the Google Classroom. In the Google Classroom, make sure you read all of the posts and all of the information that's in there. All right? Mr. Z. Read all the information that's in there. Very, very, very important. Make sure you join the Remind Alert system, because through the Remind Alert system, this is how you're going to get information on when you can pick up your parking permit in the gymnasium next week, and for other important things that might come across your way. So you got to do those 3 things in order to get your permit. We're planning on distributing permits next week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As of September 20th, all students have to drive to school, have to have a permit on their vehicle. The one last thing that I'm going to tell you is, some students will ask me, well, Mr. Biondo, my birthday's not until November, and are there going to be enough spots for me and everything else? This is something we're doing different this year, and this is a very good question. If you think you're going to drive this year, make sure that you log into the Google Classroom, the Parking Google Classroom, and make sure that you watch the orientation video. The orientation video will only be up for the month of September, because we're not going to keep refreshing it all year long. So from now until the last day in September, it's the last time you'll be able to view it. So if you don't watch the orientation video throughout the month of September, you're not going to be able to get your parking permit. We're not going to create a special situation where you get to watch the orientation video. So I'm urging all seniors, whether you think you're going to drive or not, and you don't think your parents are going to trust you, believe me, it's happened on many occasions where somebody has something happens in the family and they need a kid to drive to school, and all of a sudden you can't drive because you didn't do the orientation video. That's going to be a problem. The other thing that I'm going to say is that there's some people say, well, I don't have a car to drive anyway, so I'm not going to get my license, so why bother? The thing is that you don't know if you got an uncle or somebody who's going to will you a car, because believe it or not, that happens a lot. So I'm urging all seniors, log into the Google Classroom, even if you don't think you're going to drive, and watch the orientation video. If you have any questions about parking, I had one senior come up to me in the lot this morning and said, Mr. Biondo, I think I screwed something up. No problem. She's going to see me during her 4th period phys ed class. I'll be able to help her out. That's what we're here for. We would rather clear up problems than deal with administrative things where people aren't doing the right thing. That being said, if you have any questions, come and see me. That being said, have a great year, everybody. And I am going to introduce Mr. Zaccardi. He's going to talk to you about Open Campus. Thank you.
Good morning. All the Open Campus rules are on the website under Open Campus. Please look at that. The registration link in the parent portal will reopen shortly after Mr. Wolf and I have a meeting. And I was just notified by Mr. Wolf and the other house principals that Open Campus will start today. If you have Open Campus on your schedule, you can swipe out starting today over by Mr. Jim in the front foyer. You can't swipe out during homerooms and assembly periods, though. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, seniors, so hopefully you've gotten the message that we are all here for you this year. Please pay attention to the deadlines for different things that you have coming up throughout the year. If you don't know something and you're curious, please ask someone. Reach out, you can come and see one of the senior class advisors. You can go and see Mrs. Stady or Mr. Biondo. You can stop into a house office and ask. There are plenty of people that are here to answer your questions. So please don't be afraid to reach out and get some help if you need it. Last but not least, Mrs. Rodemeyer had spoken to you guys about being flexible. That starts today. If you look out the window, you'll notice that it's raining, so we will be rescheduling the senior panoramic. So stay tuned. We will be in touch with you to let you know when we will be rescheduling that. We hope you guys have a phenomenal year. Let's start it off really great. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Mr. Wolf, you want me to do an announcement? Have the freshmen tune in? Oh, it's supposed to start at 27, and we're at 24. You have them cue it in or not? Let's hold it for a minute. All right. Because I don't know where everybody else is rocking all that. Okay. Do they know that they're supposed to be down here?